right, let's take a look at the Photos app. Now that you have taken your pictures and you have some on your camera roll or your Photos app, let's take a look at all the features that the Apple iPhone and iPad have for you right inside of their native system. So the first thing you can do when you're done taking your photos is I want you guys to notice a couple of things. When you tap on Photos in the bottom left-hand corner of your Photos app, you will get a big setup of all of the pictures that you have in your library. Okay. If you tap on For You, you're going to get some very specific images, usually kind of compiled into days or a specific event or a specific place that you went. Really cool. Albums takes you to a list of your albums. And the search feature allows you to search for photos, search for blue, search for a specific person, search for a specific item or a place. So that's kind of how you can get it too. You can also organize by years, months, or days. Tapping on days takes you to specific days where you took photos. So if I'm under days, it's going to take me specifically to today, yesterday. I can go to a specific date, and go up to like September 16th, something like that. So I can look at my photos arranged in days. I can also tap on months. And what months does is it takes each month that I've took photos and it kind of compiles everything into a month. So if I tapped on where it said Addison Flower Mound November 2nd, I would literally go into that month of November and be able to look at photos I only took in November. A really great way to find pictures very easily if I remember when I took them. And then, of course, moving into years, what this does is it then takes me into the year. So 2020, 2019. And if I tap on one of those, it will open up that year in the month format and allow me to go into those different months or and find my photos. Just an easy way for me to get to specific photos that I'm looking for. Okay, we talked about albums. What I haven't talked to you about is shared albums. So I can create my own albums on my phone and that I can organize my photos in. I have like one that's like my favorites or ones I need to upload to Costco photos. I can make an image of like a game I went to or a specific class maybe that I take photos in. And I want to add all my photos for my specific class in a photo album. Those are my albums. But then what I can do is I can also share albums with other Apple users. So you could share an album with your teacher. You could share an album with a classmate. So if you're working on a project together, you can share an album and then each of you can add pictures or videos to that album. And then you both have access on your devices. Some really cool things you can do in there. There's a people and places space, so I can actually go and I can look and pick a person and then it will filter out everybody else and only show me pictures with that person in it. There are also media types. You can filter by media type. So if I know it's a video, I can go to media types and I can tap on videos and it will open up just my videos on my phone or my iPad. Okay, so remember I told you in the Photos app, there's this thing called live loops. If you open up an image that you took, and really, let's do it from this. If you go to albums, right, and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we were talking about those media types, if you click on the live photos, it will only show the photos where you took the live version. Remember I told you this is like where you can make your own boomerangs and stuff like that. So once you do that, you just tap on the photo that you want to create a live loop on, and then you pull up from the photo, and it's going to give you some effects and tell you which people are in the photo, and one of them is live loop. So if you tap on loop, it changes the photo to loop that specific live image. I prefer the bounce. The bounce looks more like boomerang. So if I tap on bounce, basically now it's going to become just like a boomerang where the person goes back and forth. Like if they're doing a high five, it'll be like high five, no high five, no high five. And again, that is where you go to your live photo and you can search it any way you need to. I like using the media types and then going to live. and then you tap and open that live photo, and then you tap and you pull up, and then you get your effect options, and then you just choose one, and then it will stay like that in your Photos app. And then if you were to text it to somebody or email it to somebody, it becomes a small boomerang image. So that's cool. Okay, or sorry, bounce. Bounce is just another option like the live loop that you can choose by finding a live photo. It has to be live, it can't be static. So you have to use that live option, and then you tap and you drag up, and you have like long exposure, bounce, loop, and then those are the cool things. So remember I was telling you that you can edit photos right on your phone. So when you're on your phone and you want to edit an image, you just go to the top right hand corner and tap on edit, and then it's going to give you the options like in this image. You have a magic button, which has like a magic wand, which will take what Apple thinks of the exposure in your photo, and it will change the coloring for you and kind of update it, add a little bit of brightness, and will kind of just do everything automatically for you. If you don't like that, you can change the exposure or the brilliance. You can crop, all the things just right straight from your app. So you see the auto is my favorite. I always test that first to see if Apple takes care of it for me. The next button with the plus and the minus is the exposure. And what exposure means is it lightens or darkens your photo. Brilliance and highlights and things like that, that talks a little bit more about the color in the photo. It can make it really brilliant and like bright, or it can kind of dull it out depending on the look you're going for on your picture. The brightness is more about the image in general being brighter, not so much lighter. So it kind of adds like this like brightness to it. And saturation, again, is a little bit like the brilliance and stuff. It takes the colors and really changes, like, so if you have like a red in there, it will really darken the amount of red that's in that part of the photo. But you'll have to play with that a little bit and see like what you like about it. Sharpness takes it, like if it's a little blurry, it will sharpen it for you. And then the vignette is when it adds like the dark circles around the corners of your picture and kind of makes it look like an older kind of frame picture. It just adds a little bit of a darkness around the edge of it, kind of like a frame, I guess. But again, you would have to mess with that a little bit and see what you like about it. Okay, so down below those circles are some of the other options that you have. So there's the crop and adjust, which I think is really cool. If you tap on it, it will open up your image and it will allow you to crop your image, but it also allows you to, like, if you took your picture on a bit of an angle, but you really wanted it straight, you can go into the crop and adjust and it will allow you to kind of straighten up your photo a little bit. I already talked about the auto crop. Flipping will allow you to physically flip the image, like either in like a 180-degree flip, so it's like backwards, or you can flip it up and down too. So, and sometimes that happens whenever you like take a picture with your phone. It will do it horizontally when you really wanted it landscape or you really wanted it portrait. You can make those edits in the crop. And then the freeform versus the constraint just means you can choose how big you want your photo. So like if you want it to stay a 4x6 or you want it to stay a 16:9 and make it long, you can constrain your crop and then it will help you choose that on your own. If you like the freeform, like you want to change it to where it's like really, really skinny crop or something like that, that's where you would use the freeform, and that is all inside of the cropping. And of course, markup, don't forget about markup. And I know you guys are like really good at that, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I know you use that in a lot of your classes. When you're editing video, they have updated a lot of this in iOS 13. I want you to notice that now you can crop video. So like if you're taking a big video, but you want to kind of zoom in on the subject in the video, you can now crop. And that's not trimming it. That's not like making it shorter or just taking 10 seconds out of a 30-second video. This is physically cropping what you see in the video. It's really great. Again, in your video, you also have filters. So you can add different colors, different backgrounds. You can make it black and white if you're going for a specific mood. It's really great. It's all inside of that same little button with the circles, the 3 little circles there in the triangle. You can trim your videos, like I was talking about, like make it shorter, take out parts at the beginning or the end, just like you would like an iMovie. You can also change the exposure of the video. So if the video you took in like a dark house, or the gym was really dark, or a hallway where you needed to lighten it up, now you can make those edits right in the Photos app by using the little, see the little circle with, it looks like a clock and it's got those little dots around it. That's where you can go for exposure. And then I already talked about the crop and the rotating. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I want you to know that in the For You option of your Photos app, um, Apple is making really cool little images for you already, or sorry, videos for you already. You just have to go to the For You and then kind of look around. And when you see something, like they make an album activity for you, they'll put together little events that you've gone to and done. It's really, really great, and it's just for you. So it's all done specifically for the content that you have on your device. Hopefully, you learned a little bit about your camera and your photos, and what you can do on your iPad or your iPhone. And I can't wait to see what types of images and things come out of you learning about this stuff. I'm going to be checking in with your teacher so I can see some of your examples. And I'm so excited to share what I know about taking photos on the iPhone.